Kevin, you have been covering Spaceport America and Virgin Galactic for years. I think a lot of folks probably see this as billionaires playing at being astronauts and selling seats to rich people. Why is it more than that?
Well, the very visible part of what Virgin Galactic is doing that the whole world is seeing and following is to a large extent that they're flying wealthy people who can afford, at this point, tickets at $450,000 a seat to start to space, or the promise that they'll start doing that next year and actually build up spaceports in other places around the world to do it all over. And that really, I mean, unless in 30, 40 years or 20 years, the price comes down to open it up to more people at a price that more people can afford, it really is an exclusive business model for people who are elite, who can afford it, who have the income. But that's the most visible part of what Virgin Galactic is doing. The technology they've developed has created other businesses that contribute not just to, contribute to critical development for society and humanity in space. One business, for example, to fly using the same technology, rockets part of the way to space that carry satellites and then shoot them into space the way they do passengers on the other adventure business that they have at a much cheaper price to get those satellites up there. And satellites are critical for everything going forward for society.
So why is this industry important for New Mexico's economy?
Well, even the adventure part of it for the people who can afford it is a huge impact on New Mexico's economy. There's already nearly 250 people working regularly at the spaceport with a huge impact on the local economy down there. A Moss Adams accounting firm study of what they could expect once Virgin Galactic stops operating regularly is $1 billion in accumulated impact in southern New Mexico just by 2025. Apart from that, you have all the other employment opportunities and businesses that are built up through the tourism that it brings. The flight of Branson brought some 500 to 700 people into Las Cruces, hotels filled in truth of consequences as well. And when they're flying 2-3 times a week, that becomes a regular phenomenon with a great deal of economic impact.
Now, all that being said, let's talk about your experience actually covering Richard Branson's flight to space last month. Officials made it really difficult for you all to do your job. How?
Well, Virgin Galactic basically live streamed the entire thing on YouTube for real-time web coverage of what it was doing. But that was all Virgin Galactic company covering its own event and streaming that live to the world. They invited journalists from all over, including me. People came in from Europe and Asia and every place else. But when we got to the spaceport, they herded us all into a specially designated area, totally separated from the 500 or so guests that were there to view the whole thing and be a part of the historic event. And what was incredibly surprising is they kept the press from leaving that area to interview anybody. We're down there to interview people, bring the thing to life through what we write and what we photograph, talk to all the people walking around. We couldn't do any of it because security guards kept us from leaving our specially designated area. And when we tried to, they herded us back. They wouldn't let us.
So let's be clear, this is not you as a journalist whining that you couldn't get the story you wanted. Why should we be concerned? There was very clearly a coordinated effort to control access on this story.
Because as Virgin Galactic portrays it to the world, they're trying to democratize space. It's been limited to what I think the number is, I forget what the number of astronauts that have actually flown on government flights from the US and elsewhere to space. This opens up, as they say, to humanity for your everyday person to go up to space and make space something that everybody can share in and be a part of, democratize it in that sense. Well, we already know the business model limits how many people can actually do that, as we started out discussing. But at least for the world to share in ways that are direct in the experience through people like me, through media, through reporters, through people covering it, through, that kind of democratization to share the experience is what makes it what Virgin Galactic wants to be. If they limit that, restrict it, and not allow that independent coverage of it, then all you're getting are company images and sound bites and anything they want to show and present to the world. And that becomes a marketing promotional tool. That's not reporting on what's going on. That's not what reporters do.
Kevin Robinson Avila with the Albuquerque Journal, thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you for interviewing me. Appreciate it.